gets away. And now verse 28, I'm closing. And now the prophet comes to him and says to Ahab the king, Ahab, do you want to know why you had victory? The victory is not because you're king of Israel. The victory is not because of your posterity or your lineage, your genealogy. The victory is not because you had a great strategy. The victory is even not because you ignored the young people and avoid intoxication. But the reason why you're going to win this war, the reason why you're an overcomer, is because your God's power has been questioned. Because you represent a great and mighty God, and because your enemy thinks that your God only has power for the hills and not the valley. What I'm going to do is let you go to the valley, to your greatest place of weakness and vulnerability. I'm going to take you to a place where supplies aren't accessible. I'm going to take you to a war with a strategy that you've never fought before. And I'm going to allow you to have victory, but it will not be because of your genius. In other words, sometimes God will intentionally and deliberately and volitionally take us to a valley place. And while we're in the valley places and while we're commiserating and wondering, why am I in the valley? Why is it so painful in the valley? Why am I here? And why am I not on the mountaintop? And why am I in the desert place and not on the boulevard? Why am I in a dry, arid, and barren place where there are no resources? And our God is saying to us, the reason why I will periodically place you in a valley is because the enemy thinks that you and your God are powerless while you're in the valley. So I want you to have the strength and the fortitude to rest while you're in the valley, to not think that because you're in a low place that you serve a low God. Your God still sits high. Your God still looks low. And even when you're in your valley place, God is watching over you. That's why David said, yea, though I walk through the valley, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. So the reason why I want you in the valley is because I want you to learn how to rest when you're in a lowly place. I want you to learn how to be content even if you're not on a mountain. I want you to know that God does not have to elevate you in order to initiate you. That sometimes what God wants to do is get you in a place, because if he gets you victory on the mountain, you'll take credit. You'll say, it's because we were sitting high, we could see, we climbed the mountain. God said, no, I'm going to get you in that valley place where you can't have all of your arsenal present, where you're easy to be picked off by the enemy. I'm placing you there because they think you're not going to be victorious, because they see your locale in the valley. I came to encourage somebody who's in a valley that just because you're in the valley does not mean it's demonic. It could be divine, that God has placed you there for a reason. You know why? So when God brings you out and when God gives you victory, you won't be able to say, I did it, my strategy. You'll be able to testify, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side. Where is there anybody in this house who believes that no matter where I am in my life, that God will take care of me even while I'm in my valley? So because your enemy thought you were done, because your enemy thought there was no hope for you, because they thought you and your God was going to die in the valley. But may I suggest to you that it is in the valley where you learn more about yourself. It's in the valley that you learn more about your faith. It's in the valley that you learn more about your perseverance. It's in the valley that you learn more about your fortitude. It's in the valley that you develop your testimony. It's in the valley that you learn how to cry and struggle and fight and continue and not die. And maybe there's somebody in this place, you've been in a valley financially. You've come through a divorce and you're in the valley. Your business shut down and you're in the valley. Don't you die in the valley. That's just chapter 5 of your novel. The redactor and editor of your story is still redacted and still writing the next chapters. And I want you to know that victory is coming if I can hold on while I'm in my valley. Can I be honest with you? In January, February, March, April, and May, and June, I was in the valley. Having to take these hands and close the eyes and casket of my mother. In 3 weeks, taking these same hands to close the eyes of my sister in the medical center. The same hand I lifted to God, the same hand that had to close my sister's eyes and close my mom's and my sister's caskets 3 weeks apart. These same hands. Same hands a week after my sister died, I had to pray for my brother who had a stroke. How do you hold on to God's hands when your hands are weak? We sing a song in the church, hold to his hand, God's unchained. What happens when your hands are too weak to hold? That was my song my whole life, hold to his hands, God's unchained hand. But can I tell you, in January, February, March, April, May, and June, my hands were too weak for mine to hold his. So I stopped singing, hold to God's unchained hand. I started singing, precious Lord, take my hand. Because if I hold yours, I might let it go. But if you hold mine, I know I can make it. You know why? I was preaching to you about faith, but struggling with my own faith. You know why? Because I was in the valley. How does a God of life allow so much death and doesn't give me time to prepare myself? How does a God let my mama leave and never let me have the last conversation and say goodbye to her? I had a crisis of faith. I was in the valley. Friends poured dirt. Some love to see you when you're down in the valley. But you know what? I'm so glad that even though I took time off, I didn't die in the valley. You know why? Because if you hang on a little while longer, God will give you a testimony. And July always comes after January. And if I can be faithful in my valley, do I have anybody in this house who's made up your mind? I refuse to die in the valley. And if you're in the valley now, let me give you an old song. There's a lily in the valley, shining brighter than a morning star. There's still light in the valley. Ooh. I better quit. Y'all stand. I'm done.